Hello everyone, this is Charlie and I am back with another weekly review video. So today is Friday actually, so I went to the smaller shop that I go to pick up the rest of my books. So it's really a small thing here. I just got three new books in a back issue, which I will show at the end. Uh, so first off, Supergirl Rebirth #1. So I really like this issue, but I do have mixed feelings about it. Not so much. I mean, the story was great, the art was great, but it shouldn't have come to this. The fact that if DC had gotten Supergirl right when they relaunched the title in 2011, uh, and let the writers do their thing and move the character forward instead of halting it, moving it 5, 10 steps back. So then again get a new team. They start telling their story. They halt it when something good is going on with the book. The book, the character goes from being this sort of angsty, angry character to becoming brighter. That's when they would stop those themes and they would change it, and we're back again with the same old thing. I mean, I had no real problem with the New 52 stuff. I actually thought it was a decent book. I mean, the volume before that, the first 33 issues were horrible compared to the New 52 stuff. To the whole, the whole relaunch. I just thought that that this book did a good job in cementing the character's origin, you know, trying to give the book a direction that apparently DC editorial just continually stopped from doing. So it shouldn't have it shouldn't they shouldn't have had the TV show actually show DC how to do Supergirl right. They got it right when Sterling Gates took over the pre Flashpoint book in issue 34. A good that was a good run, a good Supergirl run. The character was classic Supergirl in many ways. They should have kept that sort of tone. Once they relaunched the book, they didn't. Because you have to remember that New 52 stuff was somewhat dark, and so they wanted to make Supergirl different from Superman. So they made her a little angstier, a little angrier, a little more isolated. They did the same thing with Superman. They just isolated him from his supporting cast. There wasn't a lot of Lewis. There wasn't a lot of. It wasn't like it used to be. Before the relaunch, which define those characters. Their relationships. Those didn't exist in the New 52, and especially didn't exist with Supergirl. Um, and they fixed her up in the previous continuity, and so now that you have the TV show proving to DC how to handle Supergirl, that they just took it. They should have done it better, but like I said, I love the art, and I really like the story. Uh, First off, the art by Emanuela Lupacchino. That is uh, she's one of my favorite artists. Modern artists. Uh, Very expressive art. She adds to the personality of the character. I mean, there's only so much you can do with as a writer to bring personality to the characters you that are written. the artist really helped a lot in defining that personality, and Lupacchino does that very very well. Give me a second. Sorry about that, but looks like my dog's looking for me as she always does when I'm not there. Um, so like I was saying, the art is great. The story, I mean, it brings some of the stuff from the TV show. It continues the story of this version of Supergirl from 2052 from the post-Flashpoint continuity. Homages a lot of things. There's even references to the Superman movie, the Man of Steel movie with the Phantom Drive. Um, Supergirl getting a life outside of the costume, which along with I guess a Superwoman, this is like the book that feels like a lot of classic comic book writing is shining through. You set up a secret identity, a life for the heroes or for the hero. Uh, I was wondering how they were going to have Supergirl have parents. With the Danvers, they did a really good job with that. I hope it's just not a formal thing, that there's really some emotional connection between Kara and Eliza and Jeremiah Danvers as well. Um, the fact that in her secret identity she's wearing brown hair like she used to back in the Silver Age. Um, so Steve Orlando did a great job. Uh, uh, bringing all those elements together really nicely. So I'm definitely looking forward to the next issue. I actually, when I went to the small shop, I actually added it to my pull list. There, I'm not even sure if the other shop would have taken it because I'm limited to like 3 books. I think I should have added it, could have added it, because this was my third book in my pool is from the larger shop. So um, yeah, I think I could have added, but I decided to go to the smaller shop. I'm giving them a lot of business recently. I haven't given them that much since I started buying comics. Next up, Superman number 5. And this issue was great. I mean, it was a lot of fun. We got Mankey on art this time around. Uh, this is pretty much a Lewis Jonathan issue. I mean, the book really focused on this too, as the Eradicator. They go to the moon. It seems Batman has a moon bat cave, which I wonder if the people at the Batman office know about it. I thought it was very original that Batman would actually have a bat cave to do things that he couldn't do in Gotham. Um, the Eradicator sucks Superman into him. So Superman is there with the all the spirits of Krypton. Meanwhile, outside, Jonathan fighting the Eradicator. Then Lois steps in with this armor that Batman has, and that sort of allowed Superman to come to terms with the spirits, and they helped him. He goes out of the Eradicator, and they're you know actually like the big showdown. So the art, of course, is great. I mean, it's Doug Mankey. You can say it's just fantastic art. Really enjoyed this issue a lot. Another surprising issue was Green Arrow number 5. Uh, it seems it's ending the current um, arc, um, sort of. We learned that Emiko was double crossing the ninth circle. Um, Give me a second. Sorry. Um, and actually um, was helping secretly was helping Oliver and his allies. She's the one that contacted Deagle a few issues back. Um, and at the end, I said it feels like it's ending at least this arc, this initial arc, because they blow up the ship with all of you know Oliver's money, um, any proof that would clear him up, as things really get desperate because Emiko in front of Shadow reveals her betrayal as she's helping Black Canary out of being um, she was trapped last issue, so she helped Black Canary get out, and Shadow takes Miko. Things get really heated up, so they had some bombs placed around the ship. They blow the whole thing up. It's like magnetic bombs or something. They blow the whole thing up. Deagle and Black Canary get separated from Green Arrow, and Oliver ends up in an island, or maybe the island where he was originally stranded the first time. Uh, the art by Ferreira was, I mean, I love the layouts that Ferreira does. He actually does his own coloring as well, so he's like the penciler, inker, colorist of the book. Um, I think the original artist for the for this book was only on like for 3 issues before he for Ferreira came in. Ferreira, I think he might be Brazilian because of his last name. Anyways, replaced did the first 2 issues, including I think Green Green or Rebirth. I think he like 2 issues of this book, but a new adventure. And what I love about this book is how it seems like part of the story ended, but a new story is starting and just flows into the next issue. Like you get the whole he's in the island. So something else is the main the first story arc ended, and we're getting to the new story arc, and we don't get like a very cold ending, but it flows into the next one. So I love that as well. And so the only back issue I got, and I hope to get some more. I don't really buy a lot of back issues, not yet. Anyways, I don't really like spending too much money on comics. It's Man of Steel number 25, part of the reign of the Superman back from the 90s during the death and return of Superman. And pretty much, when I started buying comics, and I didn't really get regular until 99, where I used to go to stores where they sold imported magazines. So I would pick up all the newsstand versions of comics back in 93. We were living abroad. I lived 3 years in Miami, 3 years in Venezuela, and in 93 we came back. And during one of the before we even got a house, we're living in a hotel, and I picked up my first comics. Actually, comics, not comic, because I bought two. Flash 79 and Superman number 81. So this is the issue before the one that I bought, back then, and I'm pretty much, and if I have the issue 26, and pretty much, the return of Superman, which really haven't starting this issue, will be completed when I get issue 26, and I'm really focused sometimes on getting all of the Reign of the Superman stuff because that's really where I tried my first comics back in the day. So, getting issue 25, getting issue 26 would really complete the story of Superman Return from issue 25 from Superman Man of Steel to Superman number 82. Just one more issue 26 of Man of Steel, and I will have that whole thing complete. I need Adventures of Superman number 503 to have the whole Reign of the Superman story from Adventures of Superman. Most of the other books, issues from the other books, are really, really hard to find. And I'm still sort of hoping that the shop gets issue 503 of the Adventures of Superman to get, the whole run of Return of Superman, the whole run of the Superman that went from issue 500 to 505. So yeah, that's another little story there. So next week, a formula. I have 5 books. 5 books, I believe. Then there's a third week in in 2 weeks from now. It's still a fifth week, so there aren't any books there. So yeah, I probably might be uploading a couple of videos in 2 weeks. I still have to do that Suicide Squad review, which I'll probably be doing tomorrow or Sunday and uploading it something in the week before the weekly reviews. There's another video I want to do looking into the Golden Age Superman, and sort of reviewing do a series, reviewing a few stories from the Golden Age that I think are very interesting and really show the sort of social commentary, the social justice warrior that he was, um, fighting slumlords and corrupt politicians, some of the patriotism also during the war year or early war years, because I have all the Superman from that time. I only have like the 10 issues here, the 10 issues of the Superman Chronicles that only cover from 38 to like 42. And some interesting thing about Jerry Siegel, who interestingly enough was somewhat of a feminist. So, or he really was a feminist, as you can tell from characters like Lois Lane, very strong independent women. He used to write a lot of that, which goes back to maybe one of his early works with published works, which was Bart Regan Spy, that appeared in Detective Comics #1, where he actually created a proto Lois Lane type character. So, anyways, until next time, keep smiling. And if you're if you happen to come across this video and you liked it, please subscribe, like and subscribe if you will. And want to leave a comment, good or bad, I really don't care. I mean, this is we live in a free society whose opinions, everyone has opinions. So anyways, until next time, I'll be seeing you.